This doesn't look like a survival base, does it? When I started building, I wanted to challenge what a base could be. Not a castle, not a fortress, a village. One that still had everything you need to survive, but also charm. A place with enough character to feel like your story could start right here. Let's turn back the clock and take a look at one of my earliest projects. Hi, I'm Klaus, and welcome to Riverside. When I started this village, I wanted to work with the land, not against it. Okay, but what does that mean? Well, let's roll back the clock a little further to before I broke ground and see the land without the village. There's plenty that makes this site special. We have the Black Forest, which is a gorgeous biome all on its own. We have a river, so there's boat access, and we have a steep hill leading up to the mountain peak above. So, Black Forest, river, hill, and mountain. This was a great starting point. You'll arrive at Riverside from the opposite bank, just outside of the Gatehouse. This wasn't a part of the original build. There was a ruined tower here before, but that didn't set the right tone for Riverside. Normally, I like to leave the base defense to you, but in this case, I really knew what I wanted to build, though it still took some time to get it right. I experimented with several different designs while keeping in mind the overall look of the village. Eventually, I landed on something simple but striking. Something that looked like it belonged. But defense isn't the real reason for this gate. Unlike the old ruins, this gatehouse sets the tone right away. How does that work though? When you walk through this narrow passage, your sight is blocked just long enough to build a little tension. Then suddenly, the whole town is on display. The buildings, the winding pathways, everything is draped onto the hillside in front of you. This is the first bridge I ever designed myself. It's not tall enough for boats to pass under, but that's on purpose. It keeps the elevation sequence intact. Any taller and it'd block the view. Too low and it'd look like it could get swept away in a flood. The supports look solid, and I tried to give the ends a distinct shape. There's no flat line from the bridge to the water. It curves in, then pushes out near the base. One reason I wanted to showcase this village is the way it balances stone and wood. Imagine the stone being sourced from the mountain, and the wood coming from the forest below. You'll see that mix all through the town. The bridge is stone, that leads to the tavern, mostly stone. Next door is the fishmonger, all wood. Then the kitchen, stone and wood. The workshop, lots of stone. The inn, so much wood. And the explorers club, mostly stone, but with plenty of wood details. To respect and highlight those features, I worked hard to develop a village that appeared to rise with the hill, from the river to the mountain, while keeping as many trees and rocks as possible. The challenge with that is every building sits on its own elevation. That meant building a network of walkways and stairs that follow the rise of the hill, so you're not wasting stamina just getting from one place to the next. But I didn't place the paths for efficiency. In Riverside, I actually want you to slow down, to get immersed. Personally, I love walking through this town, especially heading to the top. It feels like a real place with real age. And yeah, you'll definitely get your steps in here. Each building serves a purpose. The tavern is home to the fermenters. Everything you need for brewing potions is here. There's even a marble bar so you can show off your collection. I really like that these windows bump out. I think it's because they bring the inside out by opening up the views. If you've just spent the whole day mining copper, then swing on by and grab a potion. You've earned it. Just a few steps down, perched over the river, is the Fishmonger. Fishing's kind of a side hobby in Valheim, but I've always enjoyed it, so I gave it a little home of its own. Fun fact, this used to be the only bed in town, so if you're looking to sleep with the fishes, this is your spot. This house might have a smell to it though. Follow the path around, then up some stairs, and you'll find the kitchen. The village shares this kitchen, so I tried to make it look and feel communal. It's fully upgraded, and there's plenty of storage installed. The downstairs space is mostly untouched, but I staged it like a small bakery. If you're feeling crafty, you could dig out the underground space and maybe add another home. As we head over to the workshop, you'll notice some small trees, shrubs, and rocks about. I mentioned this earlier, but to me, it's important to keep as many of these around as possible. They add a wonderful, overgrown charm that gives this village a sense of age. They can also inspire design. This little tree is a great example. Instead of cutting it down, I split the workshop in half. Now there are two sides. Heavy equipment is in the east, while the crafting stations are in the west. The two rooms are connected by a small bridge that passes above the stairs. This connection adds so much character and literally brings the building together. Because it's so hazardous, the Ida refinery has its own room below. Some of you commented that caging the machine in iron or marble prevents it from damaging anything. So that's exactly what I did. When it comes to Ida, you can never be too safe. There's extra storage down here and a ward so you can lock up on your way out. Since they're all essential to the survival loop, the tavern, fishmonger, kitchen, and workshop are clustered close together. But just past the workshop, the path forks. One way leads back down to the river, the other begins the climb uphill. The inn and explorers club sit just below the mountain, where the colder air keeps the snow on the ground. They're not hard to find, just keep climbing and look for the bonfires. The inn is simple but cozy. It has a warmer tone thanks to its wood structure. That helps to brighten the mood, while a set of stacked fireplaces keep you toasty day and night. Similar to the Gatehouse interior, I used some corewood logs to trim around the windows. Corewood is a bit underappreciated, even by me. Each bed has its own footlocker, but if you need more room to stash your loot, then there's plenty of storage built into the wall. When you stay here, be sure to take a moment and step out onto the balcony. The open doors don't do much to keep the cold out, but it's great for people watching. Keep climbing until you finally reach the Explorers Club. I love that the trail dead ends here. It feels a little ominous, but in a good way. The trophies hanging outside don't exactly scream, "Come on in." The whole structure is stone and made to look like it's a part of the mountain, though you wouldn't say that it's been well maintained. This old ruin has been here forever, but it's been converted to a place for adventurers to gather, stash their treasures, and hang their trophies. Every room is a cluttered mess of items brought back from distant lands. There are weapons, armor, trophies, and rare items everywhere, even on the stairs. You can tell that some of these were just dropped right on the spot after they were lugged up the hill. Their real value is the story behind them. Speaking of stories, the crazy adventurers who gather here would want a way to keep track of who's been where. That's where the map table comes in. It does a great job of adding to the mess while also filling in as an actual table. I mean, we've got to have some place to put our feet up. Outside is a large patio. I made a few attempts at expanding the castle or building out some ruins, but I really struggled to balance the look. Since I intend for the club to be the hangout spot after the big adventure, I transformed this area into a more social space. There's a simple pergola here, which kind of structures a spot for the hot tub, a fire, and some seating. Most folks come up here to take in the view. Me, I like to look back and see how far this village has come. When I started this project, I was asking myself, how can a survival base feel less like a base and more like a place? The core survival loop is tight. Food, crafting, supplies, all within a few steps. But there's so much character here that sometimes I think it's easy to forget you're playing a game. It just feels immersive. Everything fits together, not because it had to, but because it could. There's no place like home, and I think that's what makes Riverside so special. It feels like a home. If you'd like to explore it for yourself, the world file is available on my Patreon, linked down below. It's a great way to see the details up close, and your support helps me to keep on building. These 5 are the founding members, but a huge thanks to everyone who's already a part of that community. If you're wondering where we go from here, well, this might have something to do with it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.